Joe Brown, and welcome to the class, where we are a distinguished group of businessmen, educators, and entrepreneurs. Over here to your far left, we have Dan Linglitz, who is an advertising professional. Right here, we have Minister King Gray, who is an educator and a minister. And over here, we have Eric Boomtown Fitness Salary, who is an all-around entrepreneur. And today, we are talking about entrepreneurship and professionalism. Now, one thing that comes up in entrepreneurship is fears, because you're taking a leap, you're taking a step to do something that you've never done before, and it usually requires a great financial risk. So, as professional men and entrepreneurs, what are some of your greatest fears, and how do you conquer them? I actually tend to have a fear of success, meaning if I do something successfully, then there's going to be an expectation for me to do more and do it better and perform better than I did the last time. And now, once you start, it's kind of like hard to get out. And I conquered it by just continuing to do what I need to do and do what I'm supposed to do. But it's funny how people have different fears surrounding the same thing. Like, what about in the professional world? Like, do you have certain fears that come across?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, for one thing, to touch on your point, I think you're describing capacity. So the fear of not having enough time to conquer everything that you're asked to do.
Right.
Because being successful at something usually begets more success, and that begets more success. It opens more doors and more opportunities for you to be successful. But then you become more strapped for time.
Yeah.
So I think what people are afraid of is then not having enough time to give everything the TLC that it needs to succeed.
That's been the thing that's really supported me, is being connected to other entrepreneurs and other professionals and businessmen. Just people who understand what I'm going through, and I can share my anxieties and my fears with them. And they're gonna listen, but they're not gonna allow me to stay there though. They're gonna say, all right, Zoe, you still need to get your stuff together. You still need to finish. Like, you're not giving up. I understand that you feel this way, but you still have work to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we discussed prior to something that you just mentioned was networking. I mean, let's be realistic. There is absolutely a fear of being an entrepreneur. Right? When you're used to having a steady income, when you're used to having steady benefits, when you're used to knowing that all your bills will be paid on time, when you decide to become an entrepreneur, you have to be absolutely ready for the seen and unseen. So how do we do that? It's a fear.
Right.
If you're leaving your job and you may not have benefits for another year and a half, fortunately we have Obamacare, but if we didn't have that, what would you do then?
Right.
You getting hurt could ruin your entire family. It could ruin the money that you have saved up for the business.
Right.
There's a fear involved.
Right.
There's a fear involved in knowing that, okay, well, maybe I didn't do all my research. Maybe I don't know the demographics of my area. Why am I opening up this store when it just may not work? Because I see it as an urban store, but in 5 years, the area is going to be totally changed. And no one will frequent my facility, and all of my life savings are going to be gone.
Right.
There is a fear in knowing that what you are setting up will not succeed.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't let the fear overwhelm you and determine where you go.
Right.
So you have to have different avenues set up.
Right.
So you have to be able to open up many lanes.
Multiple streams of income.
Multiple streams of income.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, those multiple streams of income are going to come into play to make sure they kind of give you a cushion because of the financial risk that you're taking as an entrepreneur. So you may find yourself following your dream as an entrepreneur, starting your own business, or becoming a speaker, or starting a clothing line, but you're bartending on the side or driving an Uber at night. And you're doing diversifying your portfolio, and have a few part-time jobs like this guy. I mean, he seems to have mastered the art of diversification. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, I know it's a running joke about West Indian men that we always have 3 jobs and so on and so forth. But the biggest thing I think about diversifying your portfolio is make sure that what you do on the side, making sure it doesn't distract what you're doing, what you're taking away from your goal. So you might have to work 2 nights here, an early morning here, and work around your dream until that dream is paying fully for your benefits and the
Right.
things that you wanted to do or has fully matured, because it's going to take a business that says 5 years to really, for people to really believe that you are doing something as an entrepreneur. You know, now is the time that people hit me up for fitness or photography or a couple of things that I do, and it's like, okay, that without me actually having to advertise or have to put a flyer or something out there. And two years ago, it was like, I gotta work at Amazon at night, this, that, and the third, to really make this thing work without giving up on my dreams and not also without getting distracted, because usually if you're an entrepreneur, that means you're very highly skilled, and so you're usually pretty good. And my one downfall, I would say, was that sometimes I would get promoted in these side jobs and then they would take on more responsibility.
Yeah.
But I now know I just have to keep it simple because I'm only there for a purpose.
So, preparation.
Yeah.
What did you prepare? How did you prepare to start your ventures? Because you have a lot of ventures, but what's your main venture?
What I do is I have a fitness and media company where I combine my background in journalism and fitness and create a brand where I'm giving people what they want, create innovative interviews with athletes, actors, so on and so forth, to give people a different side, and it brings all that I am to the table and makes me money.
And that brings us back to the topic of preparation, because as an entrepreneur, you do have to prepare for this fall you're going to take. It involves a lot of financial risk. So meaning, if you do have a full-time job or you do have to work part-time jobs, you still have to work your business at the same time. But there's a saying that people say, those who fail to plan, plan to fail. So a business plan is imperative.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that you can do to overcome your fears of failure, not having enough time, or will I succeed, will I not, is you talk about doing your homework, you talk about preparation. I think a big part of that is making sure that you know who your audience is,
Right.
you know that you have a market for whatever it is that you're pushing.
So don't be discouraged when you have fears, or if you feel like somebody else is doing something that you've already thought of. Just know that your ideas were already in the realm of good thinking. So that means you just have to do it differently and do it better. So remember, plug in the systems, create your own systems, and brand yourself in the marketplace. That's where that advertising piece comes in. And those things alone will reduce fears and increase confidence in what it is that you're doing. Thank you so much for tuning into the class. This is your man, Zoe Brown. We are out.